Hi everyone, Said here. I wasn't going to record a video like this for this week. I was just gonna post another of my travel compilations from the past years. However, there's a work thing going on that is really stressing me out and I need a break from it. And it sort of connects with another topic that I do want to bring up. Related to some personal stuff. And so I have been working for this company for about 2 years now under different departments and under 2 different temp agencies. And when I joined my newest team, I was asked to do a certain thing, and now I am supposed to present the results of my labor to everyone tomorrow. And that's a presentation, an info session for over 50 people, and I've never done something like that for any professional setting before. So I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Yes, I'm freaking out. And the issue that I have with it, the mental block that I have with it, is that I'm still considered a new member to the team. And some of these people have worked for this company for much longer than I have and for this team. And what I've been working on has basically turned into me telling everyone else what to do with their jobs, how to do their jobs. And I find that a little unpleasant. Like, in the past few recent years, I have discovered that I do enjoy some level of problem solving. I do enjoy, for example, jigsaw puzzles, and I do enjoy helping people. And this is showcased in how I enjoy volunteering for events to work at the info desk, But this somehow feels daunting, This somehow feels like, well, let's just say that right now I just want to go out there, get in my car and drive away. And maybe get on a plane and leave the country. I don't know. But yeah, there are things in this company that need to change, and I have to be the bearer of bad news, and I'm not entirely comfortable with that. Like, I'm excited, but yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just it's not a very nice spot to be in. However, these people know what they should have been doing, and they still haven't done that. So what I'm basically doing is just to give them a reminder, and I'm actually trying to offer them a solution with, let's just say, ready-made options to choose from. Okay? But yeah, this has really stressed me out for at least the past week when I heard that I need to present this and I need to host the meeting. And I had to prepare the training materials, also something I've never really done before. I have received good feedback from a colleague on the materials, as well as at least a couple of managers. And I know the managers will be present tomorrow, so they will be there to assist me and support me when necessary. And the colleague that I showed the material to will also be supporting there. What also makes this difficult is that in the beginning, my boss was not able to tell me exactly what he wanted out of me. He didn't have this, like, okay, this is what I want you to do. He was like, figure it out. Or, well, he said, figure it out. We'll figure it out together. But basically, I've been figuring out, not entirely on my own. I have received help from my colleagues. And I've been doing some research on how to tackle this particular issue. But yeah, still, it's this feels like one of the most responsible tasks that I've done. Like, this feels even scarier than authorizing money transfers that were over €1 million worth. This feels much more taunting, you know, like, I'm freaking out, in case you can't see it in my behavior and hear it in my voice, but I am freaking out. So yeah, this has been stressing me out a little bit. I haven't been sleeping too well. I'm trying to go out for my walks and do my yoga, but for example, this morning I only did the walk. Then I just sat down in front of my computer. That was around 9 a.m. and now it's, you know, between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. And yeah, I've been just working on this thing. Like I know I have good material and I know I have a good structure for it. But still, it's like, what actual authority do I have to tell these people how to do their jobs? However, they have not been doing their jobs. So if but yeah, I am anticipating some negative feedback from certain people. They might voice it already in the meeting. I have told people that they can give me feedback, you know, at the end of the presentation, so I don't get, you know, interrupted and lose the track of things. But yeah, I'm expecting people not to be very happy. I can even already guess some of the complaints they're gonna have, including that they don't have the time for this. But something just needs to change, and I am the messenger of change, I guess. But yeah, this has really, like, and last week I also caught a cold, so I was freaking out also about that do I have enough time to get ready for the presentation? Do I have the time to, you know, finish up creating the training materials and all that? But it's all now done, yes, but I just don't feel mentally ready for this. But it's going to happen tomorrow in the afternoon of all things, you know. It's not in the morning, so I have to wait a few hours before I have to actually do it. But yeah, so this morning I went for my walks and I started up my work laptop. Usually in the mornings when I wake up, I do yoga and meditation. And if I have the time, I go for a walk. But not this morning. This morning I just had the walk because I needed fresh air. And I haven't made my bed, you know, usually I do. And just before recording, I brushed my hair. I didn't have breakfast. So yeah, I think this is a good segue now to continue on to the topic the personal update that I wanted to bring up, and that's mental health. So despite all of this, generally, I'm doing mentally much better than in years. This is the first autumn in a while that I actually have energy to do things. I have interest to do things. The darkness of the evenings and the mornings doesn't bother me too much versus before. And even though I'm anxious and I have like whirling thoughts in my head, I am able to better control them than before. I can calm myself down as well. Like I can, you know, relax, like actually relax. Except at night, you know, at night I don't get to relax for sleep. But otherwise, yeah. And I have inspiration. I've been working on my big epic fantasy sci-fi project recently. So yeah, I am doing much better. And yesterday I filled out the last follow-up form for the therapy that I started in May, so earlier this year. And before that, for about a year, I had been talking, not on a regular basis, but regularly enough, I had been talking to a psychologist through my workplace healthcare. And I've also been reading this one self-help book that feels very, it goes really deeper into the tools and stuff that I went through in therapy. And some things that I wrote to the free form, part of the therapy follow-up thing, I want to talk about those things here. So some of you may know when I was in university and after the breakup that I had with the ex-fiance in 2017, most of my life I have dealt with depression and general anxiety disorder, but I was basically undiagnosed, and the depression was also it didn't have a specific definition. It was just this general depression kind of thing. But yeah, in 2017 there was the breakup, and then I finished university. I started on master's degree, but I was very depressed, especially in 2017. I was very timid, I didn't want the world to see me, really. And especially before that, I didn't want to be seen by the world. I didn't want the world to really know much about me. And I was, let's just say that there were months where I didn't really sleep at all. So I was awake for many, many hours. Then I slept for maybe 2 hours, and then I was awake for a lot more than that again. But slowly and surely life started picking up. Back then I do remember I tried going to therapy through the student healthcare system. However, back then I was hiding. I wanted to hide. I didn't want to face what had happened. I didn't want to face what had happened between me and the ex-fiance. I didn't want to face what had happened within me, the changes in here, or what had happened in my life. Back then I felt like I was a complete failure, that I had just been wasting my life, that I was a waste of space, that I was of no use to myself or anyone. I was not, thinking about ending things, but I just felt like everything had gone wrong in my life and that there was no recovering from that, but there was. So I managed to start picking up my life, especially around 2019 when I started bullet journaling, and I made myself this battle plan. And by the way, I wrote in that plan 2019 that if within the next 5 years I don't have a job or I'm not studying anything here in Finland, then I want to go abroad. And guess what happened in 2021? I went abroad. But anyway, so before that there was the pandemic, I faced unemployment. I did have some jobs, but they were short contracts, and life was very insecure, very not stable. And then the pandemic started, and then I got a job offer from a big tech company based in Ireland, and I had to relocate to Ireland if I wanted to accept that job offer. And I did. I did accept that. I was scared. I had never moved abroad before. I had never even been to Ireland before. moving there. So I knew no one there, but I figured that because I had been to England a couple of times and England is next to Ireland, I figured that they're close enough. So hopefully there's something similar there, like some foods and stuff like that. And so I went, and I was very convinced at the time that the whole thing is a hoax, that I'm gonna end up being kidnapped, that my passport is gonna be taken away, and stuff like that, because that's how my anxiety worked. It would tell me the most insane stories that would happen, the most horrible things that could happen. And yeah, it was very overwhelming. And though things were not that easy in Ireland, I also loved it there. I really enjoyed being there. I missed home a lot, of course. And then, of course, the war started. So I wanted to come back home, but I also felt like Ireland was where I needed to be, because it was easier to get jobs there. It's not easy to get a place to live in there, but it's easier to get jobs there. So I was like, my future might be here. And so when I visited Dublin, I was certain that that's going to be the place where I want to live, and I got to live there and work there. But then stuff happened, including that I needed a new place to live in and I couldn't find it. And so I had to come back to Finland, and I was really stressed out about that and really, really disappointed about that, and depressed and sad, and there were a lot of things going on. But let's just say that when I came to Finland, I felt like I had just lost a good golden opportunity to be an adventurer, Like, when I moved there, nobody had really expected me to do that. Everyone was like, whoa, you who usually loves to stay at home and never go anywhere. I was like, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I was very, very disappointed in myself, for it felt like I had just given up, that I had not fought hard enough to stay there, and that my life was now in ruins, and all the worst case scenarios, and there were some other things going on. But then I got this job. I got to work for this company. I got my first role in this company almost 2 years ago. And at first I didn't like it. I was so bitter about leaving Dublin, leaving Ireland, leaving the company that I worked for in Dublin. And it took me a long while to feel at home in my home country. Even though I had missed this place, I had this immense longing for Ireland. I just wanted to go back there. I wanted to go back to Dublin, even though I knew the living situation there is abysmal, the housing situation, I mean. And yeah, it took me a long while to accept that it didn't work out there at the time. And it really took a huge toll on my mental and physical health, which resulted in me taking a lot of sick leave from work. And that's why I ended up talking to the psychologist. And then eventually I had another mental breakdown, basically, in the spring. And at the time, I was suffering from insomnia again, unable to sleep properly. And instead of medicating me with melatonin or whatever for the sleep issues, my doctor was like, sounds like you are under a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. So let's put you on medication for anxiety. So I got escitalopram, which is Lexapro, I think, in the other countries. Same drug, but the different name. And I was also my psychologist and my doctor also recommended me therapy for general anxiety disorder, and I gladly accepted. And now, even though I still experience stress, like right now, and even though I still sometimes have anxious thoughts, it's not as overwhelming as it used to be. Like in the past, if I had anxiety, it was so overwhelming that I would lose my ability to do anything other than lay in the bed or lay in the shower. You know, long shower naps, and I'm talking about 2 to 4 hours in the shower. That's not exactly normal, but that's just something that happens. Still happens sometimes when I want to relax without taking a nap in the bed, then I go into the shower to relax. But anyways, so yeah, therapy and all of this really helped, and I've been reading this self-help book that has really delved even deeper into the tools and the viewpoints that I gained through therapy, so that's good. And I've also learned to love where I am at right now. I'm still insecure about my job situation because, you know, once again, I'm on a short contract, and the business is unfortunately the type of business that is heavily influenced by world events and world economy, you know, changes and things like that. But otherwise, I'm doing much better. Financially, I'm more stable now, and physically feeling better. I haven't taken sick leave until, well, last week was my first time taking sick leave in a while. And I'm feeling lighter, you know, emotionally and mentally. Like, I think it was the other week when I was out there walking, and I just started laughing because I felt light. And it feels like I've been able to let go of the bitterness of having left Ireland, having left Dublin, and everything that happened after that. And I don't feel as much resentment towards certain people who were involved in all of that. I don't feel resentment towards my ex-fiance. And I love my home. I have a very beautiful home. I'll show in some video. And I love being in Finland at the moment. Like, yeah, I still want to go to Ireland. I still want to live there. I still want to visit and maybe live in some other places as well. But right now I'm content and even happy of where I am. And I can be proud of everything that has happened, everything I have achieved since coming back to Finland. And I can even be proud of that I went to Ireland, you know, and I lived there, and I did something that no one expected out of me, not even myself. So yeah. Anyways, this video is long, over 20 minutes now, and it's just me rambling about things. And if you did listen to this point, then, you know, thank you for listening. And even though I am feeling a little bit chaotic right now, overall I have managed to convince myself mostly that tomorrow is going to go okay, and I have support from a colleague, I have support from the managers, but still there's this tiny part of me that is like, no, they're not gonna like it, they're gonna hate you. And one part of the anxiety was also that I still sometimes struggle with, but it's not as severe as before, is that, well, this is also part of Finnish work culture, is that your manager doesn't usually want to talk to you about your work. They might be friendly towards you, almost like a good friend, because we don't really have a hierarchy system here. Like we, for example, call everyone by their first names, even if they're a manager. But if a manager approaches you and wants to talk to you about your work, then usually, especially in the past, this has meant that something has gone wrong. They're gonna reprimand you, maybe even gonna fire you. And so this combined with my general anxiety disorder resulted in that whenever a boss wanted to talk to me, especially in this current company that I have been working for, I have freaked out. I have been like, now they want to fire me. And to be honest, when I started in this job, when I was so unhappy about everything, I was unhappy about this job, and I actually, well, the company that I was working for, I was like, I don't care, let me fail, let them kick me out. But then eventually, slowly, it changed to, I want to stay, I want to do my best, I want to, stay here. And so anytime I got called into my manager's office, I was like, no, now I'm gonna get fired. Now it's finally happening. But then, for example, one time when it happened, my boss was like, would you like to transfer to a new department? Because we don't really have anything for you to do, but they want you there, so would you like to go? And I was like, sure, okay, let's go. But yeah, that's the kind of things that my mind has been telling me, and I used to have, like, these sort of thoughts would overwhelm me so much that I could not think about anything else, and I was like ready to cry. So panicking, full panic mode. And yeah, it wasn't a nice time, and the medication especially, and the therapy and all the other tools that I have been able to, gather have really helped. Like now, if my manager wants to talk to me, it's mostly like, oh, he might want to give me some feedback about the stuff that I've been doing, instead of like, oh, now I'm gonna get fired. And I also used to have horrible road rage. Like I would not do anything in the traffic, but I would just be really angrily yelling in my own car, cursing other people. And I'd be like, fuming for hours after the incident. And even, days later talking about it, I would get upset. But now it's mostly that I see something stupid, I might angrily comment about it, but then it's mostly like, oh, so you decided to do that, how stupid of you, and then just forget about it. But this is all new to me. My brain is working in different, better ways, I think. But anyways, this video is now about 30 minutes long. I'm so sorry, but I definitely needed to talk, as is obviously evident by the length of this video. Again, thank you for listening, and next week I am hopefully in the mindset and able to focus on creating a topic. It might be the surprise video that I've been thinking about, or it might be, I'm thinking maybe about the apartment situation in Finland and Ireland, and I can show my beautiful nest, let's call it that, because I've been hermiting here a little bit. But anyways, yeah, that's all for now, and sorry for the length of this video, but also thank you for listening, and take care everyone, and see you guys next week. Bye.